Bonjour. My name is Amanda. My pronouns are she, her, and hers. I'm a 9th year teacher, and this upcoming year I'll be teaching grade 1 to French Immersion. What you might not know is that I am in love with organizing, and I have used the past 9 years of teaching to find different systems that work for me. And today I'm going to show you one of the things that I use to organize my monthly materials. I have one for each month, so I use my Cricut to make the month label, and then inside I have a bunch of things that I'll definitely show you. So from here I'm going to switch the camera around and open up this monthly bin and show you what I've got. Okay, so this is the September bin, and I apologize for any shakiness, just I'm using my hands and not a tripod, of which I have 3. So this is September, and most of my bins look the same, and I have edited them out. I do have over here a bin of other resources that I'm going to be adding in and changing up, so this is going to change a little bit this summer, but for the most part it'll stay the same. So in each bin I have any examples of art activities. So this one was for our orange shirt day. And then I have any like poems and pocket chart activities. So this is from Yvette, and I have like a copy of the poem, the pieces for it, so this is laminated, ready to go. But I am going to edit how I am going to change up how I store these types of materials. But for now, this is where it is. Then I have some books. So this is a math resource from Mathologie. It's by Pearson, and these do exist in English as well. What I love about these is that they do have a link, like the QR code takes you to a copy of the book being read in French. So this is a great resource for online learning as well. But I do have the paper copy. Then I have a bunch of my September books, and there's some other stuff in here. There's some other stuff in here too, and I'll show you those when I get there. But my goal is to change these bins into being my monthly book bins. And so these paper activities, like the pocket chart poems, I do want to put into more like a filing binder type system, but I'll show you that afterwards. So some of the books I have for September is Parfait beau pour l'école, David va à l'école, Ne mange pas ses camarades de classe, Comment être gentil, and this is a resource of fall activities. And I didn't use this too much this past year, but it is a good like go-to guide if I'm ever looking for fall specific. I have examples of crafts that we did. So we did the Pete the Cat activity, and then some of my favorite books, and I'm trying to hide out because I see my name labels in the corners. I'm going to try to hide those where possible. So I have Je m'appelle Catherine, have a classic, Bienvenue, un livre sur l'inclusion. I have a second copy of this. So whenever I have 2 copies, one of them is for my read aloud, and the other goes in our class library for the month. I have Arrête d'interrompre. This one's a great one because I find at the start of the years when they're more likely to be interrupting, and so this is a great reminder. But we also pull it out throughout the year where needed. This one is Mon nom est tonnerre. It is a great book, however, Sherman Alexie has been in some trouble recently, so this is one that I'm not planning on reading with my students, which is too bad, but La rentrée de papa, Dad's first day of school. It's okay. It's just white males, so I like to try to include books that are a bit more diverse, but I like that this book does have people, which is difficult to find, especially French immersion books, but c'est la vie. I also like this one, Qui sera mon professeur? This one's good because in BC, we don't start with our actual class on day one. We start with last year's class, and then anywhere from 1 to 2 weeks into the school year is when class placements are sorted and students meet their actual teacher. So this one I liked doing when I taught grade 4-5. For the first 2 weeks of school, I had a bunch of grade 2 students. So it's great for who's going to be my teacher kind of thing. This one is Le Premier Jour d'école de Madame Pépin. It's okay. I feel like the language in this one is a bit too much or a bit too tough for my students, but it's the teacher's first day of school. This one's one of my go-tos. It's Enfin te voilà. It's by Mélanie Watt. She is a scaredy squirrel person. So she's the author of those books. And yeah, I like it. It's big text, big images. Another Pete the Cat. I love Pete the Cat. David, the little Caillou, I guess. And then the other things that I have in this bin are, this is a bulletin board activity that spells out different qualities, and so I had this that I didn't use last year, so if I need something I can always pull this out. And then I have a fall themed activity, so this is I have who has style, so it's I have one. No, that's not how this one works. I don't remember, but it's I have one, who has two, I have two, who has three, that kind of stuff. Oh, on the back I have who has, so that's why that didn't make sense. Anyway, so this is what's in the bin, and I'll show you what used to be in the bin that I pulled out to organize a bit. Okay, so this has been the result of my October bin overflowing. I had way too many books, too many print resources, that this bin was definitely not enough space for it. So I started pulling out paper activities from my monthly bins to put in here. So I'll show you a bit of that. And then as I said before, I have some activities here that are games and little monthly themed manipulatives, word wall cards, things like that. And so these bins I'm going to use just to house books. I have this with my monthly themed handout type activities. I'll show you that in a sec. But what I am working on is using a tote like this, or a filing tote like this, to store the paper, games, all of it. So I know right now it's going to be in 3 different places, but one place for books is super easy, because then it's not super heavy either. One place for the handouts because it's easy to file back, and then these I might just take out and put in a little filing section with games and stuff. But that's something I'm working on over these next few weeks. So what I've done is, this resource is from, so it used to be Kinder Jardin with Madame Mariah, but I believe now it's A Playful Purpose. So she had these monthly prompts, and this is the overview page of the prompts that you get in September. So I put this with a copy of each of the pages in a page protector, and those act as my dividers. So this is my September section, and then I have October, and so on. So I'll just walk you through what I have in September so far. This is also just me collecting all of my September things to keep in one spot. So I have the goal of this was the first week of the month, have all year long, have the student write their name and draw themselves, so that these could be put together at the end of the year to see how their name printing and drawing has changed over the year. Then we have this, which goes with the David crafts. So it's just all the templates for making our David. This came from that fall booklet that I had shown you, where it's just things that we see in fall. There's a little poem. I think it was like the one poem that I did this past year because I didn't have time. Here are just some activities. So these ones, you have to look for the letters. I had to make sure, is that the activity? So you can see like the little letters here. And so these I give students with the magnifying glass, and they can look for those. And these are from Maternelle avec Madame Andrea, where most of my resources I find are from. And we have like little books. So this is just paper clipped, and I can photocopy this, and students can make their own little books. Some other poems, and that's all that I have for September for now. I do have more, but I told you like some of it's just needs to be organized better. October is pretty full, and like I said, it's because this is the one that was overflowing. So I have a lot of stuff for October, and I think I just got up to December, and then I called it quits when I was making this. So that's so far what I used to keep in these bins. So my September bin used to have all of that plus this, but we'll see how it works. Like, I always change up my systems a little bit, so I think I'm gonna like having these in a binder for easy organization, because leaving them loose in there, like, they would just get buried and I wouldn't know what I had. But I do have more from TPT that I need to print out for here as well. So that's all of that. Okay, so my next steps for organizing, which I'm gonna do off camera because I'm definitely going to work slowly with this and see what I like and change things as I go. And if it's worth sharing with you, then I will, but I have no intention to do that right now. Anyways, so my next step is making sure that my bins only have books in them. Like, that is my goal, is those bins are just going to be for books. So all of the paper activities I want in the binder that I showed you here. And then I'm going to go through my book collection again and my year plan to see if there are any other books that I have tucked in my library that I know that I use in September, so I can keep those in the September bin, and then any activities that correspond with those to keep like either in here or in my filing system. The filing system is really where I want to keep things that are laminated, like little games, vocab cards, like that type of stuff. This is really just for printed on paper, and I can make copies from it. So I hope that makes sense, like what I'm planning on doing, like books in the bin, paper in here, and then a separate container for laminated, hands-on types of resources. If you are interested in seeing how or what's in my October bin and the resource that I have in my October stuff, let me know. I am totally happy to share that with you. That was definitely the most overwhelming bin, as well as my December bins. Just, I've got a lot of books, you know? I am changing up the books that I will be reading in September, so I will have a separate video for that. Anyways, I'll end things here. Thank you so much for watching, and à la prochaine!
Goodbye!